Hey everybody. I just wanted to make some notes here, and as we see the war in Israel unfolding, we can kind of be sure about a lot of things. Um, I know that there are a lot of split opinions on this stuff, but I think it's important to remember everything that we have seen, at least in the last 3 years. Going further back is probably more important, but I just want to talk about and touch on how Israel has accused Palestinians of being Amalek and demonic entities and things like that, and so they're justified in wiping them off the face of the earth. And I feel like them saying this is really, really creating this crazy environment where a lot of Christians really believe everything they're saying. And I feel like, wait a second, does anybody read their Bible anymore? It's kind of a mystery because why did Israel get kicked out of the land? Anybody know? Moloch worship. They killed Jesus. And they said no king but Caesar. So they've been kicked out of the land twice so far. Has a whole lot changed since then? Not really. And I think it's really important to talk about the people and separate them, because sometimes I'm guilty of this also, of lumping them all into one group. And I hate it when people do that with Americans. I mean, yeah, there's really a lot of dumb people that are like, oh yeah, we support this. Yeah, let's go kick their butt. And that's a lot of America, actually, unfortunately, but they don't represent me. And so I get upset when that happens, but I'm guilty of doing the same thing with Israel sometimes. So I get that the Israeli people, they don't have a whole lot of control over what is happening to them. Their government is making decisions, and I think it's important to remember everything that's happened so far. So let's go through that, shall we? All right. The Sanhedrin wants to do this white wing government in Israel. And the Israeli government said, hey, you're not doing that. You do that, we walk. Right? So what do we see now? Oh, they declared war. You will declare war. Netanyahu had his war council 3 days before he called all-out war on everybody. And then is calling them demons, trying to justify it biblically. This is why we're going to wipe them off the face of the earth. Oh, Hamas, the Hebrew word for Hamas is violence, and so we're going to just wipe them. Do you see the inversion? Do you see how everything they say is flipping it upside down? I mean, I hope you see that. Also, if you talk to any Muslims that have become Christians, that have converted, when they read in their own language the Bible, and it talks about the mark of the beast, they are so passionate with understanding this sentence, and that it's putting on like this banner on their head and on their hands to go war, to create violence. They talk about this, but see, just because Muslims understand it doesn't mean it doesn't apply to everyone else. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, it's a warning for them, But they've come forward and said, hey, this is what it means. Nobody believes us because they think it's going to be a microchip. They think this, that, and the other, which I think it's probably, honestly, I think it's like a lot of things. And we should always be on guard as Christians and pray for discernment. But if that's true for them, then it would be true for Israel as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Palestinians have nothing. They are not a threat. I don't understand. I really don't. My heart breaks for them. They're very poor. They're very, and the fact that, we were trying to get humanitarian aid to them using this one route that would bring it in there, and then Israel blew up that road. Come on. And then they want to say, oh, we don't want to distinguish between men and women and children. We just want to wipe them off the face of the earth. It's like, okay, I see what's going on here. You're using this as a way to further your agenda. What is that agenda? Let's talk about it. Okay, so Iran, they're the boogeyman, right? They're the ones who are funding Hamas. Yeah, okay. Do some research, guys. Actually do some research, and you'll see that that's just a bunch of baloney. It's the last country without a Rothschild bank. There you go. So they have many natural resources. They don't need to hop on that train. It doesn't mean that they don't have to interact with people that do have one and make that work, because they do. In the last 3 years, there have been so many people converting to Christianity from Iran. And actually, many are fleeing. It's not like they're sitting there scheming and trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. See, what you're being told is complete and utter baloney. Okay, what is it that they are wanting to do? So, Russia had a pipeline that supplied oil to the EU. Power, blah, blah. Not just power, but what else did it do for the EU? It wasn't just fuel. They made something with it. I can't remember. Sorry, my brain has just went, meh. So they needed it, and we're the henchmen for Israel. We're the big muscle. And they said, we want a pipeline to EU. This is a couple years back. And I think their deadline for funding was it 2022? May 2022, or was it 2021? I don't remember. I remember trying to find out if they got their funding or not, and all that information just seemed to vanish from the interweb. I was like, there's Israel being secretive again. So I'm going to assume that they have their funding. You stop Russia or we're going to blow up the pipeline. We're going to blow it up anyway. You know why? Because Israel said so. So that's kind of what happened. They blew it up so that Israel could make their pipeline to the EU, make tons of money, blah, 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 blah. Go forward with their no-hide laws, blah, 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 blah. It's obvious what we're being told is baloney with what's going on in Israel. The U.S. retracted the statement about the beheaded babies, which I'm gonna be honest. I know that they do horrific things. I have no idea who's doing what. I know that innocent people die all the time, and I think it's wrong. So, yeah, okay. I thought, great, false flag, and you kill babies. That's terrible. But the U.S. retracted that statement about the beheaded babies, which I think is interesting. And then you see all these, all these Palestinians crying, but they're crying in English, and you're like, what? What's going on? What's really going on there? I don't really know. Because I'm not over there, right? But here's what I do know. It's becoming abundantly clear the longer we go, all that Q stuff, the Albert Pike stuff, all that stuff's connected, and they're telling us what they're going to do and what's next and all that happy stuff. It's going to be biblical. Yeah, well, they're on the wrong side of things. That's kind of obvious. I mean, I think I'm so glad that there are a lot of Jewish people that are accepting Jesus as their Messiah as Jews. That's beautiful. It's wonderful. They're my brothers and sisters in Christ. I don't wish them any ill will. But the people that are running our country, the people that are running Israel, it's just not good. And maybe people have been asleep. I don't know. But as of 2020, the Sanhedrin owns the UN. Basically, in a nutshell. I'm just going to tell you like blurt facts, like bottom line kind of stuff. Of course, it's more complicated than that, but bottom line, they own them now. And that means that whatever they decide to do, and if you don't know about the whole 2019 thing, that was a joint effort on the U.S. and Israel. University of Jerusalem and University of Chapel Hill had been working on this for a while, concocted it, that sort of thing. The whole China thing, that's just baloney. So I don't know why people don't dig a little bit to find out what the truth is, but that's just kind of how people are, I guess. Makes them feel better if they're, oh, America, I guess. I don't know. But I think it's sad. But, so, yeah, the Israeli government was going to walk. And they weren't going to go along with what the Sanhedrin was saying. They're trying to protest in their own way and try to make it unenforceable. But guess what? The Sanhedrin found a loophole, and they're going to make them fight. They don't care if they die. They don't care. They want things a certain way, and if you get in the way, so be it. Why do we align ourselves with the people that have rejected the Messiah? I don't understand why we're doing that. We've been allies with Israel for a long time, and I don't think we should leave them high and dry because they depend on us. But I don't think we should help them with evil either. So what does that look like? I'm not really sure, but it's sad because a lot of people, we know that the harlot gets drunk with the blood of the saints, and everybody wants to argue about who the harlot is, but the Bible's very clear. It's the city where our Lord Jesus Christ was crucified. Yes, they used Rome to do it, but it was the Pharisees. And it's the same thing that's happening now. The United States is the new Rome. That's obvious. I mean, our government's the only government that's situated like Rome. We have all of our bread and circuses and, everything. The waters have been muddied for being a Christian here. I mean, Christian culture is abundant here, but it's also a thorn because it's not genuine. It's not real. I mean, for some people it is. I'm not trying to speak for them, but I'm just saying that it's you can't just go around and say that you are and go on about your lifestyle. It's just not the way it works. So we're Rome, and they're doing it again. So we're the muscle, and we're making everybody pay. I mean, this is the start of it. This is the start of the harlot getting drunk on the blood of the saints. And I don't really understand why everybody thinks that the harlot is the U.S. or is somebody else. I mean, it's very, very clear that it's Jerusalem, mother of harlots, Mystery Babylon. It's a mystery because nobody really understands that they're the ones running the show. They're the man behind the curtain, and they get help from Rome. and they get help from the Vatican. You know, they get help. They get money from the U.S., but they also get money from England. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just people. I don't know. And everybody's worried about the water now. Hamas is poisoning our water supply in America. It's like, where have you guys been for like? I mean, our water was hit in 2019. That's FEMA. You know, who owns FEMA? Gee, let me think. Who owns the FBI? Gee, let me think. Who owns the CIA? Gee, let me think. I mean, do you guys not understand that the United States was conquered? What do you think 9/11 was about? You really think it was about, terrorists over in the Middle East? The brown people boogeyman? Come on. I feel like you really believe that? I mean, people actually believe that. Anyway, I can't make you not believe it, I guess, but it's sad that that's what you believe. Everybody's like, oh, they've been important. Do you not understand? People, the elite have made the U.S. into something that can appease their God. That's why we're called to come out of it. So it's important to come out of it. So I just wanted to share that stuff because I get kind of frustrated. I have had to unfollow a lot of people because they are, cheering this on. And I'm like, it's biblical. You deserve to have that land. No, nope. God's kicked them out of the land. Not just once, but more than once. And he's going to gather Israel from the four corners of the world. And if you think that has something to do with bloodline, then you're deceived. It's here. It's your alliance with the God of Jacob. It's I don't really feel like people get it, and I don't understand why Americans are helping Israel do their evil stuff. I mean, the Bible tells us there are Jews that say that they are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. And I see people that claim to be Christians cheering it on, trying to help the synagogue of Satan with their agenda. And it really just breaks my heart because I feel like, I don't know if they're just blind. I don't know if they're going to have to go to the point where, someone finally turns on them and they get slaughtered and they're like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, I don't know what it's going to take for these people, but wake up. Anyway, I love you guys, and I hope that you find your peace in Jesus Christ and keep following him. And don't look left or right because things are going to get hairy. So I love you guys. Take care.